Let's begin by asking, what is Triple P positive parenting? There are 5 key aspects to Triple P positive parenting that are important for families everywhere. Having a safe and interesting environment. Having a positive learning environment. Using assertive discipline. Setting realistic expectations and limits. And taking care of yourself as a parent.
The first of these 5 key aspects of Triple P is to ensure teenagers are growing up in a safe but interesting environment.
As children grow older, they need to learn how to take on more responsibility around the home, such as safely operating gas and electrical appliances, knowing how to use fire extinguishers and how to give basic first aid, being competent when using sharp or dangerous equipment, and becoming familiar with car maintenance. These are all important skills teenagers need to be taught.
He cooks sausages, so he does use the stove and obviously to boil milk and hot water. And he's quite sensible in the kitchen.
We do have a chart that basically has household chores on, and the children just get up and do those most of the time, which is obviously giving them the ability to do household chores for when they leave home.
I try to teach him that, for example, he helps me when I'm cooking, explain him how to do all these things so that he's independent.
Teenagers should also be encouraged to take part in organised, meaningful activities at school and elsewhere with appropriate adult supervision.
The second aspect of positive parenting involves having a positive learning environment. One way to do this is to encourage teenagers to take part in family decision-making.
Lewis and his brothers and myself were either in the dining room, sitting around the dining table, or in the sitting room, just relaxing on the settees, and we discuss a variety of issues.
Since we've gone to the PP classes, we've been having a family meeting, and which has been very good. She hasn't wanted to do it very long, but while she's done it, it's been good because she's opened up with things and she's told me her point of view about things, and we've mentioned our point of view, and that's really helped a lot, that has.
We include Jaden in family decisions by giving options. We usually take a vote. We say, okay, who wants to do this, who doesn't want to do this, and usually the majority will rule.
She gives her opinion. She's pretty opinionated, but I guess teenagers are like that. But we try to include her whenever we can.
Okay, children, what shall we have for tea tonight? What do you fancy?
Curry.
A curry?
What do you? Pizza.
You want a pizza?
I love pizza.
You sure?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
The decision-making doesn't always have to be about major issues. You can start with something simple, like deciding on a family meal.
Okay, would you like to go and get the menu?
Yeah.
Encouraging teenagers to help make family decisions gives the message they are valued members of the family and their opinions and ideas are important.
Charlotte, would you like to go and ring them?
Yeah.
The telephone number's there, okay?
This way they grow up feeling valued and learn how to plan ahead and make good choices.
Isn't this a little bit too dark?
No.
For the walls? No?
Like, this is too dark, but that...
Older children and teenagers need to feel included as they begin to take on more adult roles and responsibilities.
Op de muur.
Dit op de muur. Ja.
The best way to promote this is by gradually encouraging them to have more say in family discussions and decisions. Teenagers who regularly take part in family discussions are more likely to become skilled at making good personal decisions themselves.
Parents will usually have the final word on most issues, but getting your teenager to speak up about their views and opinions is important.
Well, the way we try and get them to make their own decisions is if we're having a discussion, we'll try and get their input first and see if they have an idea of what they should do before we actually tell them.
Another way to promote a positive learning environment is to show an interest in what they're doing.
Hi, Lewis. What are you doing?
Oh, German homework.
Okay.
You don't have to be an expert, you just have to show you're interested.
Oh, well, since it's in German, I can't really help you out, but, yeah, well done. Okay, well done for that.
We should also be willing to offer help when we notice them struggling with something. This means looking for opportunities to suggest a better way of doing things, but not taking over and doing it for them.
Your approval and advice are still important, even as your children mature into the teenage years.
Bruno, that shirt looks good on you.
How did you think sports day went at your school?
It was good because I came first place for the 400-metre sprint.
Yes, and I saw you run, and I was so proud of you. You was running so fast.
If we do it the right way, approval from parents will help strengthen the relationship with teenagers at a time when they're being influenced more and more by others outside the family.
Being positive and encouraging also involves tuning into your teenager's desirable behaviour. When you notice something happening that you like, pay attention to it. Show your teenager you value what they're doing and they'll do it more often.
Hey, thanks for taking care of the dishes. Thanks.
When Kathy does something what I like, even if it's only very small, I've started praising her a lot more. And she started responding by giving me hugs now and again. You know, so I think the praising is, you know, very important.
If he woke up on time and got himself ready for school on time without me checking him every 10 minutes, I'd say, well done, Lewis, for getting up on time and getting yourself ready for school.
It's easy. I usually just give him a high five. Either a high five or a dab. It's like a pound, fist pound. And that usually does it for him.
We're always trying to praise them that they're doing a great job, how, you know, the working hard pays off, and we're always trying to encourage them, right?
Mm-hmm. The third aspect of positive parenting involves using assertive discipline. This means being decisive, responding quickly when your teenager is doing something you don't like,
That hurt!
and dealing with it in an appropriate and consistent way.
Lewis, what did you do to LaShawn?
I hit him.
What did you hit him for?
Because he tried to get the remote.
So you thought you should hit him? Leave the room, please, and go upstairs and stay in your bedroom until you calm down.
As children grow into teenagers, it's important to involve them in negotiating what the rules and responsibilities will be, what extra privileges they can expect to enjoy in return for cooperating, and the consequences for not cooperating.
I'm trying my best to not dictate to the children as such, you can and can't do this and that, but to try and encourage them to find their own way and maybe to help them to not do what their friends are doing and try and show them that it's easy to start something, but it's not quite as easy to stop.
This often involves compromise, trying out new arrangements and making changes when required.
Discussing what behaviour is expected, as well as the consequences for unacceptable behaviour, can reduce conflict by helping everyone to stay calm.
The fourth aspect of positive parenting involves having realistic expectations. No two teenagers are the same, and they'll develop new skills and abilities at their own individual rate. Parents need to adjust their expectations and set limits to match.
It's mainly them discovering their way and messing up and learning from their own mistakes. And as a parent, it's just steering them in the right direction, telling them right from wrong, and then just keeping composure when they do mess up.
There are some rules which I expect from Seydou. For example, I want him to clean his own room. I want him to prepare his own breakfast. And when school is finished, I just want him to come home and not hang around in town.
Parents' expectations depend a lot on what they consider appropriate for different ages. The onset of puberty will affect teenagers in different ways, and peer pressure may become a major issue.
Hello? Hi, Annabelle. I'm alright, thanks. Yeah, okay. Your parents are out. Cool. Yeah, I'll be over by 10. Okay, bye. Bye.
Parents need to be realistic about the risks that come with their teenagers' demands for increased freedom. They also need to talk to other parents to find out how they're handling the same problems.
Who was that on the phone, Kath?
My friend Annabelle.
What does she want?
I'm going round his about 10 o'clock.
What for?
It's like a sleepover.
Are the parents there?
No.
Well, how many are going to be there?
I don't know.
Oh, well, I think there should be some parents there if you're having a sleepover, because such a lot of things could go wrong. So I think it would be best if I just checked with Annabelle's mum.
Why?
Because I need to, for your safety, OK?
No, fine.
Having realistic expectations includes setting appropriate limits and being confident about where they are, who they're with, and what they're doing.
Listen, make sure you're back before it's dark. Yeah. If you're going anywhere else other than the park, come and tell me, let me know where you're going.
Yeah, we'll come back when we're finished. Yeah.
No later than 8 o'clock.
Yeah. We'll come back at 7.
Let me know if anything changes.
I set ground rules. He has a particular time he's supposed to be in. He knows if he goes too far, he has to tell us where he's going to be at.
Before Sadie was going out, we make agreements, and he sticks on these agreements. Sometimes he calls me. If I tell him you have to be home like this and this time, he also do these things.
Parents also need to have realistic expectations of themselves. It's fine to want to be a good parent, but to aim to be a perfect parent is likely to lead to disappointment, frustration, and lots of hassles with your teenagers. So be realistic. Every parent makes mistakes, most mistakes are minor, and parents have to learn as they go.
Yeah, I think mistakes we made with Kathy in the past was when she was smaller, and obviously with her being a grandchild, I think we spoiled her a lot.
I was in the military for a while. I tried to raise him like a drill instructor, which I later found out is the absolute worst thing you can do. Okay.
The final aspect of positive parenting is taking care of yourself. Parenting is much easier when our own needs as adults are being met.
The only time that we have to ourselves really is when Kathy's at school and my husband and I'll go out for lunch. She does go to foster carers once a month to give us a break, so we do something then.
When Lewis goes out, that's when I find time. So if he goes out from 1 hour to 2 hours, 3 hours, that's my time to just chill out. So I can either watch the television, watch my own favourite programme, so we're not fighting with the remote, or just peace and quiet in the home, really.
Finding time for yourself is really difficult, but you have to. Just having half an hour to yourself at some point in the day is important, because you're still a person at the end of the day, you're not just a mum.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time for each other, and whether you got to cook dinner, or even if you buy dinner and then if there's homework, you got to put them to bed, and by the time there's many times that we plan, it's like once the kids are in bed, and then we fall asleep.
Yes,
It's like we're out.
We have needs for intimacy, for friendship, for privacy, and for a break from children. If these needs are not being met, it's much more difficult to be patient, to be consistent, and to be available to our teenagers.
Looking back over part 1, we've just seen the 5 main aspects of Triple P positive parenting. Having a safe and interesting environment, having a positive learning environment, using assertive discipline, setting realistic expectations and limits, and taking care of yourself as a parent. In the next section, we'll look at some of the factors influencing teenagers' behaviour, why they behave the way they do.